Sagittal view of the brain. I want to draw that, and I want to talk about some of the internal anatomy of the brain. I think I want to draw kind of in the middle, and then I want to draw big like this. I want to draw a little kind of a cauliflower out back. I want to draw a little kind of a stem, and then I want to draw a hump, and then maybe something like that. This is kind of a basic brain cut right down the middle. So we say that the big part is called the cerebellum. And the cerebellum is a lot for thinking. It's what makes you different from the lower animals. This part out back that I always think that looks like a cauliflower is called the cerebellum. That's what makes your muscle actions nice and smooth. The parts of the brain that they kind of have these worm-like ridges in there. They kind of have these little ridges in the brain itself. And we say that the ridges, the valleys are called the sulci, and the hills are called the gyri, or a gyrus. So a hill is an outward folding, and the sulcus is an inward folding. Remember that the olfactory nerve is smelling inputs into the brain right here in the front, as well as the eyeballs. Also get some eyeball action here. That feeds directly into the brain. That's the second cranial nerve. The first cranial nerve is olfactory. The second one is optic, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But let's talk about the different anatomy parts of the inside of the brain. This area right here is called the Corpus Callosum. And the Corpus Callosum is where there's a connection between the hemispheres of the brain. The area in the middle is called the thalamus. That is the first area in your brain to perceive pain. And then kind of in the back, right back in here, there is a little tadpole-looking thing. It's called the pineal gland. And the evolutionists believe that this was a primitive third eye, that there was an eyeball on the top of your head that made, like you said, in some lizards, you still have a sensitive spot. Bugs have it. We know, though, that it controls light and dark cycles, that you're healthier and better when you sleep at nighttime and you function in the daytime. Whenever you get those cycles flip-flopped, it's hard to get back on track. And that's... pineal gland is what controls circadian rhythms and things like that. That's what that is talking about. This middle portion right under here is called the midbrain. I'm going to say this is the midbrain right here, and you have superior and inferior colliculi here, colliculi, and they help process some of the visual information to route it to the back of your brain, which is called we have the frontal lobe, we have parietal, we have occipital, you go to know, occipital, and then on the side of the brain we have the temporal. So the superior and inferior colliculi of the midbrain help process information that is interpreted in the occipital lobe in the back of your head. We learned that this little belly is called the pons, and there are some respiratory centers right here. And then we also learned that down at the very bottom we have the medulla oblongata. This is called your spinal cord. And in the spinal cord contain everything from cardiac, vascular, probably more breathing. So that's kind of a quick crash course in the basic anatomy of the brain.